Welcome back to the Driveway Podcast. If you're wondering what happened to us, Johnny and I were selected to be two out of the 100 men to defeat the gorilla. We won. We're
Yeah, it
back.
was it was a pretty epic day. I mean, um, not for like 78 people,
Oh
but the
yeah.
rest of us ended up not being so bad. I mean, Zach and I's strategy was kind of just run around and let the
hmm
gorilla tire himself out.
hmm
But we were there, we were committed. We said that we'd be willing to die. Um, Thankfully we didn't.
hmm
But rest in peace to all the soldiers that died in the service. I died in her cervix.
Oh, nice, nice. That was good. I didn't know where you're
Thank
going
you.
with the service, and then that was nice. Uh, no, but sorry for the 2 week blip we had. We were pretty busy, both of us, and then Johnny ended up
Busy boys.
getting kind of sicky and losing his voice, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, a little too much.
No offense.
Um,
I thought only like performers lost their voice. I don't know like average
little too
Joes like you
much.
and I.
No, you've never lost your voice before? I don't lose it often, but I've lost it before. It doesn't happen often again, but it happens every now and then.
Well, I appreciate you being a trooper and powering through the voice because I know you're not
Oh yeah.
100% back yet.
Yeah, yeah, it's not 100%, but I'd call it like 90%.
hmm
It's much better than it was on Monday.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sunday I couldn't talk. I couldn't like speak words.
Crazy. Wow. I know.
Today
I've
was Saturday.
never lost my voice. I don't think.
Really?
Mm-mm.
It's a weird feeling because I don't know. I don't know when the last time I mean, I should have kept a log. I wish I would have kept a log. But no, yeah. This was self-inflicted wound. I was like sick last week, and then Friday I was feeling good. I was jazzed up. I did have a little bit of a cough,
hmm
and then went out on the town with some amigos and amigas, right? I don't know. Is amigos gender neutral? Do you use that for all
I
friends?
think Amigos is gender neutral.
Okay, so went out on the town with some amigos. Um, um, Had a good time. Texted Zach, asked for a smooch, didn't get one.
Actually, you're right. Amiga is the female friend version.
Okay, cool. Amigos and amigas then. But no, yeah, I don't know. I think I feel like I wasn't necessarily shouting, like we weren't like screaming our lungs off at like a concert or anything like that. But it was kind of, I mean, the speaker was kind of close to us, I suppose. We were just like seated at this one table at the spot. I'm blaming it on this one spot. I don't know if it's necessarily the spot, but we were just kind of close to a speaker. So maybe I was shouting more than I realized. But yeah, Saturday took me out. But Saturday morning, I watched My Cousin Vinny,
Oh,
and
great movie. Great movie.
right, it just like that's such a comfort movie, and so it was exactly what I needed. Excuse me.
One of my favorite quotes comes from that movie. I don't remember. Yeah, it's like, well, perhaps the laws of physics cease to exist on your stove.
Yeah,
He talks about like
yeah.
making grits or something.
Yeah. They're talking about making grits.
hmm
And he's like, it took me like 5 minutes to make grits or something like that. And yeah, it is. I mean, there's so many great lines in that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a funny movie. The two Utes. The two Utes.
Utes. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Um, I do kind of want to talk about the gorilla versus 100 people really quick. Just
Yeah, sure.
what are
Yeah, go for it. Go
what's your thought on it? I want to hear what you have to say first. Who do you think's winning?
I okay, I mean, not to go full nerd, I'm gonna co-op the Ryan or Solo podcast a little bit here
hmm
and say like, haven't we already discussed this like a million times before? Like,
You and
don't you
I?
think? No, just the world. Like, I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
humans versus gorillas has come up so many times. I mean, back
hmm
in the day, it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson versus, or three Dwayne the Rock Johnsons versus one Silverback.
hmm
That was the old topic. I mean,
Yeah, this question
so
doesn't.
anyways, I just feel like it's a little bit exhausted. Like, why did it crop up again so heavily right now? I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Is there
TikTok
about to
probably.
be like, was that, oh yeah, TikTok probably. Did it like, was it a news cover up? Was there some big news story that we all missed?
Is there a
Because
new
we were too
Planet of the
busy
Apes movie
talking
coming
about,
out?
yeah. Maybe, maybe something, maybe like a King versus Kong, a new King versus
Mm.
Kong. Um, Anyways, what do I think? I really do think the gorilla would get tired after like 40 people.
Mhm,
Like
I agree.
40 people's a lot. I mean, he could obviously he's gonna mess up the first few people,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be a really crappy day for those people. But sorry, I need to go get a snack. My stomach's Zach,
We
what
had
do
a
you think?
snack. Yeah, I'll give my version of it. I don't think there's a world where we lose unless the 100 people who are selected are children or w weak, weaker. 100 people is like too many people. And I know it's not 100 people going at the gorilla at one time, but I think it's crazy for like imagine you fighting 3 people. A gorilla is much better than you, but imagine that times 10 people. There's no way a gorilla can beat 100 people. So that's my thing. Also, something funny I did see. Um, I saw Robert Irwin, like Steve Irwin's son, comment on the situation, and he's like, instead of 100 people fighting one gorilla, what if 100 people were saving gorillas? I think that'd be a good idea. So to shout out Robert Irwin for that for that little nugget of joy.
Yeah, I like that. That's cute.
All right, cool. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I just basically agreed with you, Johnny. I think 100 people is way too many people.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I don't even think I could take out like 100 babies. Like if a
Mm-hmm.
hundred 1 year olds attacked me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I'm getting tired after like 50 of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I was saying like the example, imagine you were fighting 3 people, like that you're
Mm.
already like gonna lose.
Yeah.
And then imagine 10 times that. I know
Oh
a
yeah.
gorilla is better than 3 people. A gorilla could beat up 3 people, but 30 people is he's still probably gonna I think he still might win, but times like that by two and then add 40 people, that's a lot of people, man.
So I don't mean to go in on your math here, but that was just a funny way to do that. Times that by two, then add 40. Don't you mean times that by three and add 10?
That works too. That's the first thing that came to my head. I don't know. Uh,
No, that's funny. I like the way that that works. And, you know, people's heads and math and other things, the way that they do it. I think it's
mhm,
so interesting that we all do it, you know, differently. Like,
mhm.
I don't know if you remember, but I took this intro to videography class at
I,
Washtenaw
I do
Community
remember that.
College.
Yeah.
And we were given the assignment to like walk around the building and capture like still shots and some really simple like pans and zooms and stuff like that. And this one kid that I was with, I he was really like a very quiet kid. Like I don't even think he spoke words. Like, oh, we were supposed to pair up and do it.
Mhm.
So he didn't really like speak. And so we honestly we had a shot list, like kind of like Brian was saying in his whatever. We had like a list of shots that we need to get. Like basically he just wanted to be very cookie cutter, like just go do these things and put it together. And so this kid, like, I was just like, all we got to do is follow the instructions. And I couldn't tell if the kid just like didn't understand the instructions or like he was really just trying to be like really creative with it. And I went with a ladder and I was trying to be really supportive of him. I'm like, that's so unique. I'm really impressed that you thought to do that. But the other part of me was just like, just fucking do the shot list. Like, why are you trying? Like, what are you doing here? It should be so easy. Like, for example, one of the shots was like of a clock, zoom in on a clock. And like he was taking the camera and just circling the clock. Like he was like doing all this extra shit with it. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad that you know, thought of that. But again, on the inside, it was just like, just get the fucking shot. Like, what are you doing right now?
What are we doing here, boys? Ah.
Anyways, that connects to you and your math because
hmm
we did math differently in our heads. And you can do math differently in your head, and you can film differently in your head as well.
Yeah.
It goes across all regions of life.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I forgot how we got on that topic. So, but I'm glad you brought it home.
Thank you. I don't know if you could tell, but I've been holding on to that for about 2 years now. 3 years, 3 months.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
Just
Oh,
dying.
well, I mean, it's been a while since. So I know we took 2 weeks off, but it was a while since we've had our last one-on-one episode. It might be like almost a month.
Right. Well,
So,
did we? I mean, we had walk on.
hmm
Um,
and then the 2 week break, and then yeah. So our last podcast was April 22nd, like our last one-on-one
wow.
podcast.
Wow, wow, wow. So a lot's happened for both of us in that time.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to go. I have a lot of things I want to talk about with you.
Okay, then I've
Um,
got one short story that I'll interject, and then Zachy talks or Zachy pods for the
no, no,
rest of
no,
the podcast.
no, 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 no. It involves like questions and answers, and
Okay.
it requires two people to tell the story.
Okay.
The first thing I want to do is talk about this water bottle incident I found myself in.
Oh, interesting.
So for Hanukkah, my girlfriend Allie got me this yellow water bottle by the brand Owala,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. I take it everywhere I go. Um, I've become a water bottle guy now, which is so sick. If you're not drinking out of a water bottle, definitely get one of those. I was very anti water bottle for a long time.
Really?
hmm
Like, how would you drink water?
If I'm
More of a
home,
glass guy?
I'm a glass guy, or if I'm going somewhere, I'll bring one of the plastic water bottles. I know not good for the environment, I know, but I recycle it, so it's okay.
Well, you're still
Well,
feeding the beast. You're still
I
feeding the industry.
I know, but I'm doing my best out of a bad situation that I
Hey,
put
look,
myself in.
I've thrown away a lot of water bottles. I'm not innocent either. So,
hmm
um, but yeah, no, I'm
Anyway,
glad you're finally on the train. Like I've had this
hmm
bad boy for years now. So,
yeah, no, I really like
um,
it. I think the issue was I never found a water bottle that I connected with. Like I have a lot of
trusting.
water bottles, but I've just been like, oh, that's a water bottle. This one is like, oh, this is my water bottle.
So,
I don't know
what
if that
does the
makes sense.
Owala water bottle? Yeah, no, that makes sense. How do you think? Why do you think you connected with this one?
Maybe because somebody special gave it to me.
Oh,
Because it's yellow and yellow's my favorite color. I don't know. I just really like this water bottle. It does like you press a button and it like flips.
yellow's your favorite color?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Wow, no, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I would have given you green for sure. I would have just been like, this guy's just, you
Green's
would just
definitely
pick
top
green
five.
to
Green's
be
definitely top
Michigan
five for
State.
sure. Green's a great color.
So
Um,
you were born to be a Michigan guy then.
no,
You should just come join the team.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Anyway, so
So yeah, go for it.
what I do, I always the thing with the water bottle though, I always forget it. If I go somewhere. So what I'm doing is I leave my water bottle at work so that I know for the next day when I get into work, I go, oh, there's my water bottle. Let me go refill it.
Sure.
So let's say this is a Tuesday. I leave my water bottle at work. This is a long story, by the way, for like not a good payoff. But I leave my water bottle at work and I leave to go walk back to my car. While I'm walking back to go to my car, I see a girl who has the exact same water bottle as me. And again, I recently have a big connection with this water bottle, so I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody has the exact same yellow Owala.
Yeah.
And so I was walking behind her, and she had headphones in. I know
Oh
again,
man.
I left my water bottle in my office, so I don't have it with me.
Oh
And
man.
I was playing in my head like, do I walk up to this girl, tap her on the shoulder, have her remove her AirPods, and say, I have the same water bottle as you. How special?
I I
So
think
I
that's like bordering on the like you could have done that if you really like if you didn't have a girlfriend and you really wanted to talk to a girl. But otherwise, definitely keep that shit to yourself, bro.
okay. So I did. I did not talk to the girl. But what if I had the water bottle with me? Would that be an okay thing to do?
Um, I don't think not to make her turn around. I think it'd be kind of funny or cute if like you were like both taking a sip at the same time and you're like, "Oh my God." And then you're just
Uh-huh.
like you just gave her the like a little whoop and then and then you just kept walking. But I don't. I think to tap someone on the shoulder over a same water bottle is probably a little too much. Okay, that's a good question. What do you think are appropriate things to tap someone on the shoulder and be like, "See, samesies."
I'll be honest, I think that is a perfectly good reason to tap someone on the shoulder. Like,
Do
oh,
you
this
think water bottle is that's a low baseline for you? That's
I,
low.
I love human interaction. What can I say?
I guess so.
Um,
I think for me it would have to be like first thing
same
that came to
shoes.
mind is like soccer jersey, but
Oh,
shoes would
okay.
be a good one too. But they'd have to be like unique.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're both wearing like
Hmm.
Yeezys. Sorry, podcast. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't know much about shoes. Okay. But that actually would be very like applicable right now. If you and
Mhm.
someone else were wearing Yeezys around in
Like,
public right now,
what?
you'd have to go. You'd have to go
Yeah,
soccer.
you have to say something. Is it worse? So let's say she wasn't wearing headphones. Is it worse to tap her on the with no headphones on, or like wave to her while you're walking past her and say, "I have the same water bottle," but not have the water bottle with you? Or is it better to have the water bottle with you, but tap her on the shoulder with headphones in? Does that make sense? How I phrase
Oh
it?
yeah, if
Yeah.
I had to choose, then I definitely want the water bottle with me.
Okay.
I want the
Okay.
proof.
Okay. So having the item is better than interrupting their song.
Yes, because
Okay.
again, like at that point, like why would they believe you? Or I mean, they would believe you, but it'd be like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at that
It's like
point,
it's like
it would seem like you're trying to like start a conversation to flirt, to be like, "Oh my God, I've
yeah.
got the same water bottle as you," and then be like, "No way," and you'd be like, "Yeah, I don't have it with me, but," and they'd be like, "Okay,"
And then just keep moving. Okay, so
because yeah,
I don't regret not saying it, but I regret not bringing my water bottle so I could show her we
yes,
had the same water bottle.
right, yeah,
Because
that's
again,
fair.
I feel like I have a special connection with the water bottle, so I seeing somebody else had it made me happy.
So, are you a stickers on water bottle type guy, or are you gonna get into that?
I no, so I did think about that. I'm not going to be a sticker water bottle guy because for two reasons. One, I like the yellow on it, and I don't want to cover up
Mhm.
the yellow.
That's
And
fair.
two, I have a longboard that I sticker up. So I think I have something already that
Ah,
has stickers on it,
okay.
so I don't need to sticker the I'd rather sticker my longboard more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you sticker yours?
Stickle. Is that like sticker and tickle? Mix
Yeah.
of sticker and tickle.
Oh, we're so back, man.
We're so bad.
We're so back.
Um, yeah, I only have two stickers on my. Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask real quick, not to like call out your water bottle, but like, does it have? Does it? Oh, never mind.
Okay.
A little Apple logo
Oh,
from
nice, nice.
something I don't know, and then it's fallen off of my Seattle cherry blossom run
Oh, cool.
jacket. Check this out.
Okay, I can't wait to see what you're pulling up here. I I have no idea. All right, if you're watching this on
I've
YouTube,
got another one. I got another one ready.
dude, I gotta be honest, I
Going
was
to
going through
cherry.
all the stickers in my head. I would not have guessed that in a million years.
I got a backup cherry blossom run sticker.
That's so cool, man. Are you gonna put it over it?
Yeah, I'll probably try to like clean off the residue
Oh,
of the old one and
mhm.
then bam.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
but yeah, I guess your opinion, maybe another reason that you needed this water bottle, I guess is trying to what I'm good at or trying to what I'm dig into is or what I'm trying to dig into is um does it have like do you enjoy the way that you get the water out of it
Yeah, it
more?
has like a straw function in it, so I can
There
like
we
sip
go.
it.
Yeah.
So it is so nice.
So you like having the straw.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I for me, I'm kind of a water bottle purist.
Hmm.
I like just having the, tin can that I'm just drinking out of.
Yeah, yeah. I did see that. You're old school with it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just makes it,
Picasso.
yeah.
Um,
Picasso.
dude, speaking of tapping somebody on the shoulder, I have the like most embarrassing, cringiest story that I put
Yay.
myself into. Do you want to hear
Oh,
it?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
So,
I'm sitting back. I'm muting the mic. I cannot wait. Just
Marky
gonna let
Maddie
this ride.
graduated. Marky Maddie graduated like 2 weekends ago during our bye week,
Congrats to
and
them.
yeah, congrats to Marky Maddie. Shout out you too. We'll get you on the pod soon. And I went to Maddie's graduation in the big house, and in front of me was this woman, and she pulled out her phone and took her camera out and was like, oh, and tried to press the film button and then started holding it like she was recording something. Now I
Yeah.
noticed she did not press the film button. She pressed near it and missed, so she was just not recording anything. So
Oh.
I was like, oh shoot, I want her to like, get what she wants to get. So I tap her on the shoulder and I say, excuse me, ma'am, you're not filming anything. And then she said, oh, I'm sorry, and like proceeded to put her phone away. So she took it as, ma'am,
Oh
you're
no.
not you're not filming anything. Like, put your phone away.
Like you're a security guard.
Yeah, exactly,
Ma'am,
exactly. And I
you're
was
not
like,
filming
no, no,
anything.
no, no. I meant you didn't press record. You don't have filming anything. And she said, oh, really? And then I was like, yeah. And then she turned back around and didn't talk to me. So I was
Oh, oh, that's horrible.
what a terrible misunderstanding. And now I have to sit. This was
Or
right at
like
the beginning.
her kids' graduation. He's a first generation college student, and she didn't get it on camera because she thought she couldn't film.
Well, she wasn't gonna get it anyway because she didn't press the record button. But
That's true. That's true.
what the worst part was, it was right at the beginning. So I sat there and I wanted to tap her on the shoulder and apologize, but I kept being like, "No, you can't tap her on the shoulder again. That just will not work." And so the entire Maddie's graduation ceremony, I was thinking, do I get up and move? My whole family's here. Do I move to a different seat? Do I pretend like it never happened and like have a like laugh and talk to my parents? What do I do? So I just kind of thought about that the entire time Maddie was graduating. Derek Jeter was there. He was giving a speech.
Oh shit.
Or listening to Derek Jeter, I was overthinking my dumb decision of tapping her on the shoulder.
Hmm.
So anyway, that was just a bad example of when to not tap somebody on the shoulder.
Yeah, there you go. Full circle. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I don't know if it's Gaussian, probably not Gaussian, but the just the exponential curve of like within those first 30 seconds is when you should have tapped her on the shoulder.
Hmm.
And then as time went away, exponential decay of like,
Yeah.
all right, don't tap her on the shoulder. So by the time like minute two came by, maybe not, minute two might be harsh, but minute five, by the time that 5 minutes had passed since the incidents, your odds of tapping her on the shoulder should have been like basically zero.
Yeah, you're right. And I regret not tapping her. I regret tapping her on the shoulder for sure. This is one where I do regret tapping her. Normally, I love talking to
Yeah,
people.
you were trying to do the right thing though.
I was, and it just didn't work out
Oh,
in my favor, and I don't know how to get back. How do I come back from that moment, you know? Now I'm scared to tap people
yeah.
on the shoulder too, because they might take it the wrong way.
Yeah,
So,
they might take it the wrong way. Yeah, that is the issue is like sometimes when you're trying to communicate or ask questions or whatever, at least me, I've already got like all this stuff built up in my head and then I go like and then I ask someone a question like what do you think about what do you think about a million or something like that? Like that'll be the question that comes out in my mouth. But I've already been thinking about whatever. That was a terrible example, but I've already been
mhm,
like thinking in my head like all this stuff that backs it up. So when you catch someone off guard by tapping them on the shoulder, you definitely have to be very like precise with what you
mhm.
say and all that jazz. So I don't know, a little bit of interviewing skills you should have there,
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Sir,
Okay,
Mr. HR.
Mr. HR boy. But yeah. So moral of the past two stories. I'm glad I have a water bottle. That's all to say.
Yeah.
And I want to tell the world, so I'm telling our pod. I love my water bottle. Um,
Yeah, shout out all passengers, by the way.
mhm.
Appreciate you guys so much. We're excited to keep growing and expanding the passenger family.
Yeah. Do you want to share your story? You want me to do a couple more of mine?
Uh, um,
You know what? You just share your story.
yeah, what is this? Oh, this is just a thank you note. Okay. My story. What was my story gonna be? Zach?
Was about tax returns.
Tax returns. No, it wasn't gonna be that one. I had one
Oh,
other short one. Oh, short, kind of crappy story. I did this like capstone presentation for my thing. Did you have to do capstone?
we had a capstone class, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have to present? Did you have to like defend a thesis or anything like that?
No, it was more like we did a group project
Okay,
based off an
okay,
idea we
okay.
had.
Kind of okay. So kind of similar to us. So we had to do a little presentation, capstone presentation, and like some, I guess a couple big names were there, a couple some of the brass. But I did mine on like melanoma treatments. Um, and so at the and I'm comparing treatments pretty much for like aggressive cancer. And so at the end of the presentation, like someone raises their hands and okay, well, first off, I guess I should preface it with I already fumbled the first question. The first question was supposed to be a softball by like my program director. Like he
Hmm.
was just gonna lob one up that I can just bah. And I fumbled the shit out of that question. And so I was already doing bad answering questions. Again, I different guy, but I called two people old that day because one other guy goes something about, or one other guy said something about like I forget what it was, but I was just like, well, I think people are getting older, or the older people get it. And he's like, yeah, I guess I'm just one of those old people. And I was like, oh no, oh God.
I've done
Anyway,
it again.
I've done it again. And so one of the questions was someone raised their hand and was like, so what would you tell your patients? And it was like, oh, put on sunscreen and stay out of the sun. And like the audience, it was only like 12 people, so not a big audience, but just the audience, like started laughing. And I just like thought in my head, like, wait, why was that funny? I don't understand why that was funny. And then it was like hours later, I'm making dinner or I'm cleaning the dishes, and it clicks in my head that the person that was asking the question was like, so which treatment would you choose for your patient?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. So at least
Oh,
I got a
Johnny,
laugh,
I love
but
you so much, man. That
I
is
did a
that's so funny.
terrible job of answering the question. So, anyways, um, because I didn't like, I think the right thing would have been to like, if I knew I was joking, would have been to like make the joke and then be like, oh, but no, I would tell him to take this, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
But
absolutely right.
obviously did not do that second part. I was just like, I said, put on sunscreen. Everyone laughed, and I was just standing there like, yeah, that was funny.
Oh
Someone
my
else ask
God.
a question, please.
What I would have paid some money to see that live. Oh my gosh. I bet you your classmates were like, wait, that was it? That was his answer? All right, for
Yeah,
sure. Okay.
exactly. Ugh, so what a knobhead. But that was my short story. Tax returns. I was gonna say, God, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Oh,
I think
shoot.
I think I was just gonna say my tax return hit diffy this year because I only worked for like half the year,
Hmm.
and so it was kind of cool because they take out the money based on your like wage, right? So like if you make
Oh.
like they predict what type of tax bracket you're going to
Hmm.
land in. And so you don't have to owe taxes. And so they were taking money out for this higher tax bracket. And then because my income
Wow.
only amounted to so much by the end of the year, I got a pretty handsome check back in the mail, which was kind of cool.
Dude, nice, man.
Thank you. It all
Um,
went to go to tuition, but still.
mhm. I have
And
the opposite story.
oh man.
So when I got the house in 2023, my tax was I owed so much money in taxes.
Yeah, I bet. Oh,
Oh,
are
you
we
lo-
recording still? Oh, we are.
I
Yeah,
I
okay.
think so. And the this year I got an email from so my parents have an accountant and and she helps me out with the taxes
Hmm.
and I got she emailed me and said everyone's getting or she emailed my parents. She said all my siblings are getting money back. And I was like, "Oh, dude, let's go.
Let's go.
Finally, I'm gonna be so back." And then guess what happened?
Yeah, yeah,
I
owed.
I owed not only did I owed more this year than I did last year.
Oh my God.
And I was like, how did this even happen?
What's
What?
going on, man?
So I was like,
Trying to
can you
evade
explain?
your taxes?
I was telling this accountant like, can you explain what happened to me? Why did all of a sudden I owe money? And she gave me
Hmm.
some random mumbo jumbo. I don't remember what she said, but I
Sounds good.
couldn't believe it's because I figured I was going to owe taxes. That's fine. But to have somebody tell you you're not gonna not only owe taxes, you're gonna get money
Oh,
and then be hit with quadruple what you thought you were about gonna owe in the first
that,
place.
yeah.
It was not a good day for Zachy
Yeah.
Banks.
That's a terrible feeling.
Zachy Money is, oh my gosh, Johnny, I didn't tell you this either. Speaking of speaking of Zachy No Money, the city of Birmingham sent me a letter in the mail and said, "Hey, we are redoing the water and sewage pipes in Birmingham."
Yep. 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 That's been ongoing.
So, and they said we're starting in May. And I said, it's April. May is next month. So I looked it up and I said, how much does it cost for a water or sewage pipes to be fixed? Because we have to pay for it.
Oh.
And the internet told me anywhere from $3,000
Oh.
to $10,000.
Oh. Oh. Yeah.
So
It's gonna be 10,000 too. Like it's Birmingham. They're gonna go.
right, right. Well, no, it was. So I got the I yeah on Sunday 'cause Saturday I wasn't here because I was at a bachelor party. Sunday I check my mailbox. I look at what mail I got and I see a notice from Birmingham. And I said, "What is this? Did I forget to pay the
Here we
water bill?"
go.
I open it up and it's the water and sewage bill, dude. We don't need to get into. I can tell you off camera how much it is, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be,
Okay,
but
that's good.
not at all what the money I have for it. I don't have this money just lying around.
You're
So,
not a money tree.
no. So, between getting shafted with taxes, this, and like my mortgage company screwing me over a couple months, I have like I'm nervous, dude. This was just not what I needed right now, and I think like I can split it up the payments into 6 payments.
Oh, that's good.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, do the
But
payment plan. I love
this
doing the payment
was
plan.
the last thing I needed.
Oh.
So anyway, I'm happy that we are getting our pipes fixed, but man, did I
Yeah,
not want to pay for this? Do I want to pay for
you got to
this?
get piped. You got to
I'm getting not only am I getting piped, I'm getting shafted too.
get.
So anyway, that was I wanted
That is crazy. No, that's terrible timing.
to and it's like right after tax season, guys, what are we doing here?
So, can you like write that off for your federal taxes next year?
Do you think?
Is that I don't know.
I
That might have
didn't
been stupid, but
I never even thought about that. Now no, there's no way. Well, maybe I'll look it up. That is a wonderful idea. I doubt
yeah,
it
maybe look it up.
because
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like I would have when I was doing my research on how much it's going to cost, somebody would have said, "Oh, you can write it off for taxes."
Right. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I
Yeah, it'd be
didn't.
hard to believe if you could do that, but yeah. Oh,
I don't think about
probably
taxes too.
regretting buying that second Nickelodeon Kids Choice Award book. No, yeah.
Yes,
Did
I
you
know that
ever
was a,
sell that?
I did. I told you.
Oh, good.
I made $2
I
on
thought it was
on
still on the fritz, but the deal went through.
deal went through.
Oh, okay, okay.
I made $2 on that transaction.
That's good.
hmm
Good deal.
Um, no, but speaking of taxes, for Hanukkah, like in 2020, I got a janky old tuba from India, and I donated
Wow.
it to the Salvation
That is
Army.
the weirdest sentence of all time. For you got a janky old tuba from India for Hanukkah. That was your Hanukkah gift. That's what you
Yeah.
asked for.
No,
You're
I
like,
didn't ask
Mom,
for it. My
Dad.
parents were like, "Oh, this will be a fun one."
You're like, thanks. I'm gonna take this opportunity to donate some money in your name, Mom and Dad.
So I donated it to the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army gave me this form to fill out where I can write it as a tax write-off. I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
great!" So not only like again, I was thinking I didn't pay for the house, so less taxes there, and I have a lot of money from that donation tube because the tubas are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "I'm so good." So I still do not understand how it was more expensive than it
Yeah,
was
that's a
last
good
year.
point.
So
So, but I think when you write off a charitable donation, it only deducts from your standardized deduction, right?
As opposed to what?
Or like the income. Like, I guess I'm saying I don't think the tuba is not going to be enough to be greater than than the standardized deduction.
No, but I thought it would take a chunk out. So I'm just thinking, like, imagine if I didn't donate that to, but how much it would be.
Well, I don't think so,
You don't
right?
think so?
Because did you take the standardized deduction?
I, to be honest, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Um, because I remember having kind of a similar thing where I was just like, oh, you know what it was? It was a 529 account. So the 529 account takes away from um your income. You can deduct up to $5,000 off your income that goes towards or like your taxable income,
Mm.
which is kind of nice, but in the end it really didn't change that much because I think hmm, how did that work?
I don't know. We don't have to go into
Like
taxes.
this,
This is
yeah.
not a tax podcast.
Yeah, they're hard to figure out. They're
Yeah,
weird.
taxes are tough. Um, okay, well, we can move on from that. Um, I have another story.
Oh, good.
Um, so for anybody who's a fan of the pod, you guys know about Zachy Speeds. Um,
Oh man, here we go.
so in case you didn't know, for the first 3 months of 2025, I was pulled over one time per month,
Party.
and I am happy to announce the entire month of April, I did not get pulled over.
Wow. Clap
We
it
did
up
it.
for Zachy
We did it.
Speeds. Didn't you
Uh,
get a ticket in December too? Not to dox you.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay. I thought that was part of the deal, but good.
no, no.
Okay. Was it
Yeah, no. So
November?
I got a ticket in January for speeding. I was in Ohio. It was my fault. I was obviously going fast, but I didn't know the speed limits
Classic.
was like 65 instead of or 60 instead of 70 there.
Yeah, yeah, they're low here for sure.
So I didn't know that. So I still would have probably gotten pulled over, but I wasn't like going that fast in my mind. But anyway, it was pull over worthy offense.
Hmm.
February, I also got pulled over for speeding. But no ticket there because it was a dark night. We were a minute away from the Airbnb, literally a minute, and I got pulled over. But you all know that story. That was in an early, we talked about that in the pod a while ago. And then in March, there was some construction on Telegraph, and I was getting off of like um I don't remember the what it was, but I was getting onto the highway and I was trying to catch up. I was trying to go fast so I could merge into the far left lane, and cop got me immediately and like pulled me over. And I got a ticket for that. I didn't get a speeding ticket though, thankfully, because I didn't want any more points. He gave me what did he give me? Something with like I caused distress to the city or something. I can't remember
Oh, really?
the
That's
official title of the ticket.
interesting.
Um,
You're a public
it's
disturbance.
what's it called when you drive not safely? Uh,
Um,
whatever version of ticket that is. I got that.
sure, sure, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Knock on wood, I haven't had one of those yet, so I'm not sure.
so I appreciate him not writing me a speeding ticket because I literally was probably gonna get my license taken away. Um,
Reckless
but
driving.
reckless driving, yes,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay.
Um, also so soft for pulling me over, by the way. I was going like 11 over, and he's like, "Oh, you're going. That's more than 10." I was like, "Dude, come on." So I obviously didn't say that, but no, for the ever since that third ticket, I said to myself, Zach, you gotta change the way you look at life
Yeah, yeah.
because ever since I got my license, I've loved not speeding, but efficiently driving somewhere.
Officer, this man right here. Arrest him.
So the fact that I got pulled over 3 times in 3 months really hurt my self-esteem and made me take a hard look at myself in the mirror and
Yeah.
said, Zach, you know, my parents hate it when I speed. Um, and I think I looked at
Your
my phone and said,
friends hate
Zach,
it when you
your
speed.
friend, my friends hate it. So I think I was just like, Zach, you've had a lot of great years of speeding. This is not okay.
It's time to put them behind you. It's time to
It's
open a new
so
door.
Zachy speed limit is the name we're going by now.
Good.
Do I still speed? Yes, but is it like 8 miles an hour max, yeah, that's as much as I'm
Okay,
going these days. So
that's good.
I want to thank you all for your
So I'm
support. I know this is
14 in between Ford and 696. You're
hmm
going, you got 78 on the cruise control. You're
yeah,
locked in.
locked and loaded.
Perfect. Do you
Um,
cruise control? Or do you
I
still like
did
to feel it in your foot?
I did a couple times, but I'm still primarily feeling it in the foot.
Okay. All right.
Um,
That's good. Good progress.
thank you,
Baby
thank you,
steps.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that part of my life is over, but I'm excited to see what's next. And I had a follow up to that too. I can't remember what it was. Oh shoot, there's something about every time I got pulled over, I was in the Bronco. I was I've never been
Oh,
pulled over for
yeah, yeah,
speeding in
yeah.
the Ford Flex.
They just respect the flex too much. They're
I
like,
think that's
dang,
what it is. They're
it's a
like,
pretty
oh,
car.
that
Not.
that's a family car. Shut up, man. That's a family car. That's a family man driving in that car. I don't want to pull that guy over. But the Bronco, oh, this guy's wealthy. He's got money. Let me pull over this jagweed. So that's what I think is happening. I've never been pulled over for speeding in the Flex, and I drive the Bronco to work now, and 3 times I get pulled over. What are we doing here, guys? Come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
That's
anyway,
crazy.
I just want to say that's the update with speeding. I'm not speeding anymore for the most part.
Good.
Um, and I've learned my lesson. It took a lot for me to
Yeah.
officially learn my lesson, and if I can go back in time. But also, how unlucky is that? Like, I was
Mm,
speeding for 8 years, never got pulled over, and then I got three in 3 months. I think it's a little. You can admit it's a little unlucky. Like, think about all the
I
times
think it
you
was deserved.
you're you're such a jerk, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just joking. I'm
But
just joking.
like,
No, you're right. Like 3 for 3 is kind of crazy.
how many
No
times do
doubt.
you see cops on the highway? Like once a week. I'm how many times driving
Yeah.
on the highway, and like I'm not speeding every time I'm on the highway. It's like
Mm. Are
the
you?
well,
Look inward.
I'm a lot of the times I'm speeding, but not every time. So it's just crazy the times I was speeding, I get jabbed for it. So
Hmm.
anyway, I'm coming up with excuses for myself because I'm upset about the whole situation.
Oh, yeah.
But that part's
We
over
all
about me. I'm a
change.
new man. I'm a new person. I've
Yeah.
changed,
Yeah.
and thank you all for your support. And we'll be
Yeah.
better
We're
for it.
we're here for you, man. We're here for you. We'll always be here for you. If you ever feel
Hmm.
the need for speed,
Hmm.
um, just, remember back to this moment. Remember back to the passengers. Think about all those passengers. Think about all the backseat drivers
I
that
will.
are, wishing the best for you. They don't want you to stay safe. They want you to be, alive and with us so that you can podcast every week. And um, you know, it's get there alive.
Mm.
Getting there alive is much more important than getting there on time.
Keep kids alive. Drive 25.
Alive,
That's
drive
what they have
25.
that for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you still might seriously injure that kid, but hey, he'll be alive.
He'll be alive. All right, well, we can move on from that. I do have one fun thing I want to talk about. This might take us to the end. I don't remember what time we started at, but um, I like to call this part of the podcast. Zach fixes the Big Ten.
Oh, interesting. You've got me intrigued.
I've got you intrigued. This is from my
I don't
football.
have a time. I don't have a timestamp, unfortunately,
Okay,
because my
so
phone left the meeting.
that's all right. My college football is at a very interesting place right now with
Mm-hmm.
NIL, the Big Ten having 18 teams. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, like the 12 team playoff. So I was thinking, like, how do we make college football more exciting?
Oh.
And this is where Zachy fixes the Big Ten comes in.
Oh. Ooh.
So the before we had the Big Ten West and the Big Ten East. Before that, we had the champions and what was the other one?
Leaders.
Or
Leaders
leaders
and
and legends. Yeah,
legends. Yeah,
leaders
yeah.
and legends. So now that USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington are in the Big Ten, I'm thinking, how do we make the Big Ten more exciting? So my plan: we divide the Big Ten into two divisions again. So we have the Big Ten Best and the Big Ten Next. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So there's 18 teams. Each division is 9 teams.
Sure.
The Big Ten best are the team or the 9 teams who had the best record the previous year, and the
Yeah.
Big Ten next are the 9 teams who had the worst record the previous year. So, um, so there are 12 games in a college football season. You have obviously um, your three non-division games.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then you have then you have your conference games. So I was trying to figure out the best way to do this. In so there are 9 teams, but if you're one of the teams, that counts as one, so that's 8. So you could face everybody in your conference and then a team from the other division. So if you're let's say you're Michigan, for example,
Yeah.
you face the other teams in the Big Ten best, and then one team from the Big Ten next,
Like Michigan State.
like Michigan State, this previous year. Or we could do like 5 Big Ten best teams, 4 Big Ten next teams,
Okay.
just so everyone has like a fair chance. And then at the end of the year, the top 2 teams from each division, so the top 2 teams in the Big Ten next compete for the championship, and then the top 2 teams from the Big Ten best compete for the championship of their division. And then the the 2 teams who go to the championship game get promoted to the Big Ten best, and the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten best get demoted to the Big Ten next.
Hmm.
So it gives you incentive to want to do good in the Big Ten. This is a very long explanation. I'm sorry.
No, I'm staying with it.
So, and I think it would make the divisions a little bit more fun. And yeah, I guess that is. I haven't gotten all the kinks worked out. That was just my original plan.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to hear your thoughts on it. And plus, I like the demotion and promotion thing. I think that adds a little element to it. And that's kind of my thoughts. Do you have any? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you have anything you would change in it?
Yeah, it's very English Premier League soccer, of course,
Hmm.
which I mean, I think I think it's, kind of a well-held opinion on the internet as well, but I think that would be the coolest thing of all time if college football adapted a English Premier League like structure
Hmm.
or English football like structure. Um, I don't I don't have a vision for exactly how that would work, but again, I think that would be the coolest thing if so if we take it in the context of just the Big Ten, like having two
Hmm.
divisions, I think that's possible. I guess I would envision it as probably being a little bit super conferency in terms of we'd actually like there'd there'd be a division of the actual like I don't know 15 best teams or whatever. Um, and then we'd go from and then we so yeah, and then we'd have a table or something like that. Okay, but anyways, if we do it in the context of just the Big Ten, which I kind of like to, let's just focus on that now. I
Hmm.
agree. I think 9 and 9 obviously makes sense because there's 18 teams. Um, and two up, two down makes sense. I agree with that. Um, I think if we were to take that model,
Hmm.
I think you throw away non-conference games and um, you do just all conference play. Like, what would be the point of? I mean, there's really no point in the non-conference games right now, but what
Yeah.
would be the point of the non-conference games at that point in this
Just,
in this
but like,
model?
who wants to watch like the Big Ten face Big Ten every single week? I think, okay, well,
Me,
I think you need a couple non-conference games. But no, no, when I say non-conference, I'm not saying we should go play, you know, Yorktown or
yeah,
Youngstown State.
yeah, Young Sunset, sure,
Like,
sure, sure.
if you're gonna go out of conference, it's got to be like, you know, a Power
Like
Five or Power
a
Four.
quality opponent.
Hmm.
Um,
Like with Michigan and Texas this year, I thought that was wonderful. That was so fun. And then
yeah.
Michigan faces Oklahoma
I'm
next year,
sure you
right?
thought that was fun.
Well, okay. Besides the fact that you guys got Wally Womped, which also sick. Um,
I like that.
you
Wally
know
Wumps.
those 2 teams don't play ever. I think it's fun to have teams who don't play ever. That's why I kind of like the 3 non-conference games and 9 or 8 in the conference, one not
Hmm.
one in the division, but or 5 and 4, whatever how you shake it out to be.
Yeah. So I guess my other comment is now that I've said English Premier League football, it might need to take the new Champions League format. So the way that they do that is um they've got a random draw for all the teams in Europe that have qualified.
Hmm.
Um and there's a random draw, and the teams that did best, or like the most powerful teams, are placed in one bucket, and they get drawn against certain teams from other buckets. So that would probably be more of like a if the international, college Division 1 football, FBS, uh, maybe I could see that being more of a thing. And then in the off season, you would then go on and have like a playoff tournament of like maybe 16 teams or something like that. So pretty
Hmm.
much copying the Champions League. But I think again, the best teams, I don't know what it would be. Three, maybe the three best teams if there's the Power Four, right? Three
Hmm.
best teams from Big Ten, from Big Ten's top division would go on and play in the playoff. And that's where you'd have to get the non-conference games. But the teams are so like the conferences are so big now. I
Hmm.
don't think it's that boring for a Big Ten to play a full Big Ten schedule. Like I'd love for Michigan to play Wisconsin, Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, UCLA, USC, Michigan State, all in one season. I mean, it'd be stressful,
Hmm.
but that'd be a sick season,
Yeah,
don't you think?
you're right. And also you,
Like if it was the old Big Ten of maybe even like pre-Maryland and Rutgers,
hmm,
yeah, you'd probably get a little sick of it. You'd like to see some things shaken up a little bit.
hmm,
But I think the fact that they're like these massive teams now or these massive conferences, you'd get you'd get pretty good entertainment from seeing them play a lot of the
yeah.
same teams year in year out.
Hmm. And also, like if we do this and we still keep the current college football playoff, odds are you're going to play somebody who you've never played before, or like it's not in your
When you
conference.
get to the
When you
college
get to the
football
college
playoff,
football playoffs,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that'd probably have to be like another stipulation is like for round one you wouldn't be able to play like a conference opponent. I don't know how they would
Well,
do that.
it doesn't really matter
Yeah,
because if you do, whoever wins that game will play somebody hopefully not in
yeah,
your
yeah,
conference.
that's true. Most likely, yeah, yeah.
Most likely. But and also what you were saying is also interesting because that made me think of my like either 8 teams in your division and one person in the other conference, or 5 teams in your division and 4 teams in the other conference.
Hmm. Like for the full schedule,
The full schedule,
full Big Ten
you
schedule, no
get
non-conference.
like everybody has a fair strength of schedule almost because
Hmm.
like not to throw Michigan under the bus, but or okay, I won't even say Michigan. Some
Okay.
college football teams face the bad teams in the Big Ten and go like 9-3 when if they had a different schedule would go 6-6. But because of how
Hmm.
easier because of the teams they face in the Big Ten, they have a better record and they're not really necessarily a better team than some teams. So this way, I think everyone faces the same amount of hard teams and or good teams and bad teams.
Right.
So it's a little bit more fair. You can figure out which teams are actually legit and which teams are, there's no more of like, are they actually good or is it because their schedule is easy?
Right. Yeah. Like that would, yeah, the Indiana factor.
Hmm.
And then I think it would pretty much also, I think this is maybe what you just said, but it would pretty much resolve that because you'd be like, well, we technically played the nine best teams in the Big Ten.
Hmm.
And then like the nine worst teams in the Big Ten, we played only one of them. Or like maybe not one, but yeah, like you said, like four or five.
Hmm.
And then it's like, okay, then I guess the argument would probably still exist because you're like, oh, well, they got to play like the worst four teams in the second tier, whereas we had to play like Michigan State, who did so well in the second tier. Sorry for saying Michigan State, but we played Purdue that did so well in the second tier this year. Like, that's not fair. But again, it's just like, well, you have to play your schedule. You still have to win. You still have to play the games.
Hmm.
So. But no, I like it. I mean, obviously, I think it would be super cool um, if they could do that. And I think it would be possible. Like, I don't really think you'd have to. Well, I don't know. I don't know, the industry that well, but I'd say you probably don't need to get the NFL involved. You can probably still do the draft and all that stuff because the only like what I was, I guess, going for there is the only other, not the only other option, but I think another option that could be a potential for the future, which would suck. I don't think anyone would want this, but like just have academy football, the same way that Liverpool's got the Liverpool Academy and they develop their players up until they're ready. You'd have academy like Lions Academy and they'd, you know, sign the best players from Michigan to be on the Lions Academy and all that. But I think that would suck. I don't think anyone would want that. Um, because the way that it's structured now, I think is perfectly reasonable. It gives players a perfectly reasonable amount of time to develop their strength, like their physical strength and their mental acuity of the game, to be ready for that next level. So I don't think the academy is necessary. Academy structure is necessary, but I agree completely. Like I think division would be fun, and we kind of did that in the Justice League for a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. And again, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
So I kind
being
of
in the
modeled it
Play Army of
after
Champions or the Loser Sock Off like Jim.
I modeled it after you.
Oh wow,
It
thank
was
you.
you kind of inspired that.
Yeah. And then when we
Um.
go bowling, I love that. When we go bowling and we have
Oh
the good
yeah.
lane and the bad lane, I think
Hmm.
that's the funniest thing that we
It
do.
is. It is fun. I do like that. Um. Kind of going on the same subject about that though. I want to talk about NIL real quick,
Sure.
and then we can like wrap up.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on NIL? Because I had one take on it, and then I had a conversation about it this weekend, and I was like, that makes perfect sense. I'm on the other side.
Okay. I mean, I think it's of course cliche to say, but it's the Wild West right now in terms of the NIL.
Hmm.
Um, it needs to be figured out and it needs to be structured. It needs to make sense. Because yeah, it's just the Wild West right now. It doesn't make much sense, and obviously we've got like the famous Nico Iamalava story that's going on, and um, I don't know the solution, so I guess I'm curious to hear what
Hmm.
what you
So
about to say.
I didn't really think too much about it, which my fault. I just was like, oh, players are getting paid that deserve it. Great, let them be paid. That was kind of
Yeah.
just my whole mindset. And somebody brought this up, like we were talking about Michigan State football,
Hmm.
and what their thing was, NIL is crazy because everybody transfers.
Hmm.
At least for like Michigan State. Like I was thinking about the people who I know on the team right now, and there
Hmm.
are two people. It's like the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Yeah.
And that gave me like I really opened it up like, wow, I don't know Michigan State football right now. Just because
Yeah. Yeah.
the team is so different than it was last year, and the team is was so different than the year before that.
Hmm.
So he brought up the fact like you're not really cheering because before like and when I was in college, I was, you know, again, Brian Lewerke, I don't like him now, but for like I knew who he was and I was a big fan. I was like I wanted the best for Lewerke because he was our quarterback.
Right.
But now with all these transfers, I don't have that connection with the players anymore.
Right.
So I'm rooting for like instead of rooting for the players and wanting them to go to the NFL, I'm just like, oh, there's Michigan State football.
Hmm.
So it kind of takes out the personability of the sport a little bit, which is an issue. So like you said, I do think it is kind of more Wild West the more I've thought about it. And I think the only way to fix it is you got to have some clause in the transfer portal or not in the NIL deal where like you can get paid this amount of money, but you have to stay for 2 years at least. You know, something like that.
Right.
Some clause in there that you can get money. You get you like people can just get money and leave. That's crazy.
Right.
So there's got to be some sort of incentive for you to stay or like binding contract where you have to stay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big listener of the Joel Clapp podcast as well, and he's at least this is how I've interpreted what he said, but he's a big advocate of just like the NCAA needs to go, like college football will not be under the NCAA someday because they just cannot control, like they're terrible. They're so terrible. Um, and they need to create their own governing body. Again, I guess I feel like that's where the NCAA came from, was like football, college football needed to create a governing body, so they did.
Yeah.
Right, pretty much. Um, um, but yeah, the transfer portal needs to be reined in. The um, NIL needs to be reined in. Um, and I think I think once they do figure that out, I think you're probably right. I think we'll get some like we'll get a lot more Michigan legends. We'll get a lot more Michigan State legends that like, spend their 4 years there because of however it's going to work. But I think the transfer portal is important too because it's
Mhm.
totally leveled the playing field. You know,
Yeah.
Alabama doesn't just get everyone now. Um, Georgia doesn't just get everyone now. Um, and like speaking of the academy system, it might be like it might be an academy for the colleges, like having kids in your academy because what was I going to say there? I had a good thought and then I just lost it. But
Mhm.
um, like it's kind of like so college basketball. St. John's head coach, he was- he said that it's not worth recruiting right now. Like it doesn't make any sense to bring in some 18-year-old kid and try to, coach him up and teach him up all this stuff when I can just go get a really experienced 20-year-old in the transfer portal that
Mhm.
I really like. I like his play style. I think he's going to fit well. And you bring him in and he fits well. Like there's no point in recruiting. And that's, I think, I don't know if you can apply that to football as well, but I think that's almost kind of like, again, that's what Kirk Signetti kind of did with Indiana in his first years. Like, what's the point of recruiting all these 17-year-old kids? And so I wonder, I guess maybe this is more of a wonder, is like, I wonder if the big programs like Bama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas are going to give up on recruiting and
Mhm.
just try to start like flipping kids, constantly. Like the kids that do well at the smaller schools or whatever, they're just going to come sweep in and take them. It's kind of like what Manchester City does. Manchester City, granted, has their own academy and all this stuff, and they've
Mhm.
created some great players like Cole Palmer um, and Phil Foden. Um, but for the most part, they live in luxury because they've got billions and billions of dollars that once player on Southampton does really well, they don't even have to think twice. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to take you from Southampton. Like, and Southampton can't do anything about it because they don't have the funds, they don't have
Mhm.
the clout, they don't have the name, they don't have the chances of winning all these big trophies. Real Madrid, it's again Real Madrid too. Real Madrid does it all the time. Like, yes, they go out and find some great players, but it barely matters that they've got an academy because if they want the next best talent, the next best talent is going to come play for Real Madrid because they just have
Mhm.
that. They've got that brand name, and they
Yeah.
can pay. They've got the money for it. So the schools with, but again, like I guess this is all speculative, and who knows? Um, so I really don't know. I mean, I like listening to Joel Clack because he's got such a clear vision and such a clear idea that it's really nice and easy to listen to him because you're just like, yeah, that would make sense. That would be cool if we do all this, um, you know, stuff. And I think he's even said like we can all acknowledge that it would be cool if college football did the promotion relegation um, model of the English Premier League. But is that actually going to happen in America? Probably not.
Probably
Uh,
not.
it would definitely happen more likely in college though,
Mhm.
um, because in the pros, like those NFL owners would not have their team get relegated.
No, absolutely not.
That's like the only reason it still exists in European soccer is because it's such a cultural foundation that you can't break that.
Mhm.
But in America, like at least in pro sports, there's already like at the college level, there's already been some level of promotion and relegation. It's a little bit more self-identified, but teams, D2 teams can requalify and become a D1 team. And then
Yeah.
D1 teams, they can if their program flounders for long enough times, sometimes they might bust themselves back down to just being a D2, D3 program. So there's already some precedent for it. It's just how do you organize it? How do you get everyone on board? Because it's kind of the same thing. Like, there's no way Notre Dame's ever going to want to risk not being, in the top tier of football. And that's why they don't join a conference.
Hmm.
And that's why they set this special, you know, place aside basically for Notre Dame to make the college football playoff every year. Because they've got such clout and such power that they're going to say, ain't no way that there's a future where Notre Dame is an irrelevant football powerhouse. They're going
Yeah.
to do everything in their power to make sure like that wouldn't happen. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, I
Point is,
rambled. Sorry about that.
no, point is, we got to fix the Big Ten. I love relegation and
Yeah, it's such a fun idea.
hmm
But again, like,
um,
how do you culturally get that into America's mind?
yeah, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either. I think you just have to enjoy it where it is.
Hmm.
Like, it'd be great. It's a great wish list item, but just enjoy it
Right,
as it
right.
exists in the Premier
And
League.
then I don't know you. I'm happy players are getting paid, but I just think there
Mhm.
needs to be some sort of law.
Yeah, my opinion on the players, I think for a while there, I was like always a little bit resistant. Just I don't know, dad effect, like just
Mm.
like my dad, or I don't even think my dad was necessarily against it, but I was just like the tradition of college football. I was like, oh, I want to keep the tradition. But then once it started happening, I was like, why did I care so much that they pay? Like, I love that, we just paid Bryce Underwood $10 million. Like, it's not even my money. It's not the university's money. It's like this billionaire owner's money is
Hmm.
just making sure Bryce Underwood comes to Michigan. It's like, hell fucking yeah. Like, give that dude $20 million, make him stay. So yeah, no, I'm glad they're getting paid, and yeah, sorry. Didn't mean to co-opt that
No,
as well,
I
but
appreciate it. All right. Well, I think that's all I got.
yeah.
Passengers, thanks again for riding with us. This is where we're back. Thank you
We
all
are
for
so
listening.
back.
We're so back. Tune in next week, probably for another episode. And unless I lose my voice, that'd be crazy.
You
And we'll
should, have some fun. Have some
have
fun for once in your
some
life, buddy.
fun. All right. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, see you next week.